Been getting a lot of questions lately on all-in-one trainer, functional trainers, my thoughts on using them, the best usage of them, and the best one that kind of fits what you guys are kind of looking for. And that is probably because there are a lot of new cable apparatus functional trainers. As the day of recording this, and average the last like 2 or 3 weeks, I'd probably say the whole year, there's been an influx of cable-related devices, from single tower stacks to all-in-one trainers like this, things like new iterations like tornado arms that every machine is seeming to come up with their own little spin on it. And don't get me wrong, I think these new things are definitely cool, and I got some stuff to share with you guys in the near future about that, one of which is being all the Force USA racks. I'm getting a lot of questions about that, so stay tuned, I will address those. I am seeing something that if your goal is to get the most efficient, great workout in your home gym, buy the stuff that really works suiting your needs, I am seeing a lot of people, I think, kind of getting lost in all of the equipment and over-engineering, and they literally have a solution to every single problem within this, again, the term Swiss Army knife type of setup, where you have these very cool, very innovative, but for some people, possibly very overdone all-in-one trainers that take up a fairly small footprint or maybe a fairly large footprint. And there's a lot of stuff in there that if you actually think about it, may possibly be hindering your workouts versus actually helping them. So I thought I'd address a few of these things, and that is from personal experience. And there are things, like I said, that just are personal preferences. There's add-on attachments such as lever arms you guys are seeing in this workout that I organically wanted to throw on, even though it took a little time to set up. I legit love these things. I love my Quantum Free trainer. There's some things I love that you guys are not gonna love, but hear me out on some of these points here, because I got through seeing a video that was posted. It wasn't a recent one or anything like that, so I'm not gonna point any fingers. And it wasn't a bad video, it was actually a great video. It was almost over an hour long, where someone was getting in details of various things and their kind of setup and how they do things. But I couldn't help but notice that this person put a lot of detailed effort, way more than I could have possibly thought of finding every little nook and cranny on how to create something. And he's talking about the optimal way of training something, not judging anybody, but you kind of know if the stuff's kind of paying off or working, and also the level of experience with somebody just through kind of just seeing the visual, fruits of their labor, so to speak. Nothing wrong with that. The mental side, the positive stuff, the collecting stuff for sure is cool. But my first point along those lines is that every quote unquote solution to some sort of problem that you're trying to solve in the home gym can create another potential distraction. So in the name of saving space, of which I'm definitely learning from that, trying to create more of an open space here, you're cramming as much stuff onto a rack or even maybe in separate storage that is requiring more setup time, more moving around, and less time actually training. And so training kind of gets diluted into playing with toys more or less, instead of putting possibly more time into just putting in some quality work. And I alluded to that in a previous video, not to saying I'm the most hardest worker in the world with training, but what I found even in the recent video on just a simple budget, very inexpensive, pretty cheap cable machine, I had a great workout because it was just one simple thing that I got creative and just dialed in a lot of the key exercises and movements that really gave me a great workout without a whole lot of setup time. And what I found for most people, and there's a reason why I think people just like going to the gym, because stuff is just already kind of set up for them, and people just like the path of least resistance. And I think if something is easier to do, you're more likely to do it and also put in a little more quality work, versus on the worst side of things, not feeling like you want to set up that leg attachment or that banded attachment or move some apparatus to here or rig some sort of cable configuration to set up for one exercise. It might slow down the workout, and it might actually potentially diminish overall workout time and just overall stimulus to your body. So while it's really enticing to get the new latest and greatest fun attachment, I know there's some things, and I got some stuff to share with you in the future, that I really come to some new conclusions on my thoughts with training and with some of this equipment here. Some of which is the same, but some of which I'm definitely rethinking some motivations and some of the things I was doing, at least with some of the rigs that I'm kind of considering. And so I do think it is kind of human nature to want to play with the new latest and greatest and fun toy. I would definitely have you guys consider the most practical question, which is what are the things you're most likely to use, and what are the things you actually maybe used in the gym? And I think that is one thing I've kept hitting on many times on the channel, of one of the benefits of going to the gym and being seasoned to say going to the gym using certain equipment. You already kind of know what you're gravitating towards, and you just want to plug and play that in your home gym. But for the people that are new, I think there's a lot of people out there, of which I can make a separate video on why it's the case, are really just kind of like the comfortable environment of their gym, and they're just kind of experimenting with a lot of things, which is cool, but every little experimentation and new toy is adding a lot of wasteful potential years under your belt on just getting in some quality training versus say wasting 5 or 6 years to wait and build the optimal setup. And so what I'm really talking about here that I think really drives the best in-home workouts is the ultimate level of focus, or my friend Vince McConnell likes to say, clarity in your workouts. Being very clear and focused is very important when it comes to a successful workout. If your brain's kind of scattered and you don't know exactly what to do, or you have all this paralysis by analysis from all these little trinkets and toys, you're losing out, I think, on one of the best benefits of just working out in your home, which hopefully is that you're decluttering the outside stuff of, let's say, the outside world and even a commercial gym to really put in the quality work in your workouts. And last point, and this is something I've hit on, and I know I'm gonna hit on in the future with some new things that are coming out, but I really think that this innovation and engineering isn't always a step forward. Sometimes it is a step back. There are things, and I'll share with you in the future, that I think are just simply kind of convoluted. They take a lot of time to set up, and the trade-off I just think isn't really worth it. I think if some of these things you're seeing are kind of novel and new, odds are you probably would have seen them in the commercial gym setting first, and there's a reason why certain things really stick, those kind of bread and butter exercises and machines, and those are the ones I think you want to pay the most attention to versus the new latest and greatest kind of angle. Because as much as, say for example, I do like the Tornado arms, finding I haven't been fiddling with them as much as I thought I was, but that is just me with kind of how I've been doing my workouts and more focused on my workouts in later years. Now for you, you might love all the innovations and ways to kind of rig things. I get that's kind of part of the fun. I'm not trying to take that fun away from you. But my simple point is, especially with some of these questions I've been getting recently, if you're wondering about if this and that innovation is going to be worth it, or if it's worth kind of waiting for the next squat rack and what the next thing is going to be, I don't think you're really going to miss out too much. I think the bare bones and bread and butter stuff that's out there already is the thing that's going to produce the best results. At the end of the day, these other things could be novel, there could be some great things, but I also think there's something to be said that for some companies, you can think of like the best brands that are out there you know of, instead of focusing on latest and greatest innovations, some of the best companies are really focused in on quality and also things such as customer service, and for some people, just being made in the USA and just overall manufacturing processes. Just general thoughts, as always though guys, interested to hear what you guys have to say about the matter, about the newest, latest, and greatest innovation that is out there, if you're excited for them or if they are potentially holding you back. I will see you guys in the next video.